Hi Gemini, and welcome to your horoscope for April 2025. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My horoscopes are based on the UK time zone, and please watch them in this order: for your rising sign first, then for your sun sign, and finally for your moon sign. So I'm going to break April down into 4 weeks, and I'm going to pay particular attention to the moon, what it's doing in your chart, how it moves through your houses, when it occupies certain houses, and when, and how that influences you as you go through April, so that you get an idea of which days in April support you in what areas. Okay, so week one, Tuesday the 1st to Sunday the 6th of April. On the 1st, we have the moon in Taurus, and that's in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. And it sits next to Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and the unexpected. And the 1st of April is April Fool's Day, but in your case, what you're able to experience on the 1st of April is I, on a spiritual level, realize that a lot more is possible for me, and it's not a joke, and that I could manifest certain realities which no one in my family, no one in my life has ever manifested. And I am getting these downloads from spirits, and they're telling me that certain things are possible. So if you're someone who's not satisfied with your life as it is now, or if you have a sense that there's more on the way, that bigger and better things are possible, then on the 1st of April, please spend a moment to contemplate your life, to meditate, to see what comes through, and you'll get specific concrete messages that you can implement to make your life much more abundant and prosperous and enjoyable for yourself. On the 2nd and 3rd, the moon goes into your sign of Gemini, and it joins Jupiter, the lucky planet, also in Gemini, and that's in your first house of self. So on these 2 days, the 2nd and 3rd of April, you'll start to find that you can problem solve, and that you understand what you can do with yourself, how you can reshape yourself into a life that suits you much more, and that is much more rewarding in the sense of what you get out of work, what you get out of relationships, what you get out of exercising and eating well. It's really about finding and tweaking the things that you're doing, perfecting them so that you have a much better outcome, and that you feel like you're living a life which is full of joy and laughter and good times. On the 4th, 5th, and 6th of April, the moon moves into Cancer, and it moves into your second house of money and belongings and securities and assets. So these 3 days are good to take care of any of those things. On the 4th of April, the moon reaches its second quarter, so it's waxing. It's halfway on its way to becoming a full moon on the 12th of April. And the moon sits next to Hades and Mars in Cancer in your second house. So anything to do with finances, or anything to do with your bills or debts, or income, or negotiations regarding how much you get paid, these 3 days are the days to do it, and for you to get the best outcome, particularly if these are things that you don't usually enjoy doing, if it makes you feel ill at ease, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, to be so direct and to say, do you know what, this is my line in the sand, I'm not going to accept anything less, and if you're not able to pay me this, we're going to go our separate ways. You'll be much more comfortable kind of taking on that hard line during the 4th, 5th, and 6th of April. So in these first 6 days, the moon starts in your 12th house, and it ends in your second house. And that's very much the left-hand side of your chart. It's who I am, what I create in my life in terms of securities, and what spirit, what the universe has told me is actually possible for me. So you start April with a sense of being massively empowered by the higher realms, and you then land on planet Earth, so to speak, metaphorically, and you say, I'm now going to problem solve, and I'm going to make these things a reality, so that I transcend my life from what it is, and I transform it into something that's better. So I upgrade my life. Week 2, Monday to Sunday, the 7th to the 13th of April. On the 7th and 8th, the moon is in Leo and it's in your third house of communication. And the great news is that on the 7th of April, Mercury, the communication planet, goes direct. So any issues you've had with communication or transportation for the last few weeks, expect those to disappear. And with the moon being in Leo and sitting next to your transiting ascendant in Leo in that third house of communication, anything that requires you to be in the spotlight, to present, to go for job interviews, to film your YouTube videos, to be in the limelight, you'll be able to do that very, very well and to come across in a way that you're very happy with. On the 9th and 10th, the moon goes into Virgo and it goes into your fourth house of family. So these 2 days are great to get things organized as far as your family life is concerned, or even to get advice from family members about things that you're uncertain about. Mercury rules Virgo, the sign that is very much about learning, absorbing information, organizing things. So if there are certain conflicts in family, you can sit down, have a discussion, get those resolved. Or if there are certain family members you need to take care of, like for instance, maybe someone's had an injury or has just come out of hospital and you want to be there for them while they're recuperating, the 9th and 10th are great for you to show up in that way and to be the nurse, so to speak. On the 11th, 12th, and 13th, the moon goes into Libra, and it goes into your fifth house of what you love to do work-wise, but also who you love and passion and romance. Good news again is on the 12th of April, Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, goes direct. So the 11th, 12th, and 13th, I would say, even the 11th, they're safe for you to start dating again and to meet people who are compatible and suitable for you. And if you're a Gemini who's single and is looking for a partner, 11th, 12th, and 13th are great to get started on those kind of things again. Also, on the 12th of April, we have a full moon in Libra. And Libra is ruled by Venus, the love planet. And the full moon is when the moon reaches its completion point during its 28-day cycle, and it showers us with its energy. So you'll be feeling a ton of Libra energy in that fifth house, and you'll want to connect with another person in a romantic way. Or if that's something that you're not particularly interested in it at the moment, you'll be able to connect with your work and what you do and what you love to do. You'll be able to devote yourself to that fully and really have this wonderful experience of this was massively enjoyable and I feel a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. So in week 2, the houses the moon covered, on the 7th, it started in your third house of communication, and on the 13th, it ended in your fifth house of love and romance. So that's the very base of your chart. That's the root of your chart. So it's all about presenting yourself in a way that feels genuine, authentic, and comfortable. And then being around people you love and care about, family members, and also bringing in new people into your life who you're interested in, starting new romances, starting new relationships. So week 2 is the love week for you, I would say. Moving on to week 3, Monday to Sunday, the 14th to the 20th of April. On the 14th and 15th, the moon's in Scorpio, and it's in your 6th house of daily routine and the structures of your life and also physical health. And the moon in Scorpio is very good at being the detective and diving beyond the surface of things and getting to the real root cause of something. So if there's something in your daily routine that's causing you problems, you'll be able to identify it and get rid of it. If there's something to do with your body that is really not helping you, so if you feel a little frail, or if you feel that, I've gained 5 pounds over the last few weeks and I don't know why, you'll be able to identify why that is. Or if there's something in your daily routine that leaves you feeling tired, or has left you feeling depressed or unhappy, you'll be able to identify what that thing is and how to get rid of it so that you return to a place of feeling content within yourself. On the 16th, 17th, and 18th, the moon goes into Sagittarius, and it goes into your 7th house of relationships, and it opposes Jupiter, the lucky planet, in Gemini, in your 1st house of self. So these 3 days are fabulous for you to start dating again, to meet new people, to have fun, to open up to new experiences, to travel, to spend time with people you don't know very well, maybe to go with people to festivals and to really let loose, to let your hair down and to have a wonderful time. So if you're able to take any time off work, the 16th, 17th, and 18th are the time to do it. Also on the 18th, Mars, the planet of masculinity and drive, that enters Leo, and it goes into your 3rd house of communication. So from the 18th onwards, expect to be far more confident and expect to find it much easier to do public presentations or to influence other people or to pitch something or to be in a leadership position where you have to convince people of what is happening, why it's right, and why they should come with you. All of that's going to be much easier for you. So April here so far is a month for you, Gemini, of love and confidence and really feeling very comfortable in your own skin, and anything that detracts from that, you're able to identify and fix. So you're massively empowered here. On the 19th and 20th, the moon goes into Capricorn, and it goes into your 8th house of institutions and authorities. So anything that has to do with the taxes or the government, any legal issues you may have, or negotiations you're in, you're really able to do the work. You're able to devote yourself to that fully, and you're able to get a productive and satisfying outcome. On the 19th particularly, the sun enters Taurus, and that goes into your 12th house of spirituality, which is an interesting placement because the 12th house is the ethereal, it's the higher realms, it's things that don't exist in the physical. And in your case, it's ruled by Taurus, an earth sign, and the sun is in Taurus. It's next to the part of fortune and Uranus. So from the 19th onwards, you may find that you start to get messages from spirit, which are very specifically focused on certain actions, things that you can do to change the way your life looks, to change the way your love life looks, the way you feel about your own body, and what you can accomplish. So if you have a spiritual practice, Gemini, make sure that you engage with it here in April, particularly from the 19th onwards, because it's almost like you have a cup in your hand that receives these spiritual messages, and you can drink deeply from that cup, embodying these great ideas that will improve and upgrade your life. On the 20th, the moon reaches its 4th quarter. So it's waning away now. So it's getting smaller, on its way to becoming a new moon on the 27th of April. And it's still in your 8th house of institutions. So you'll have the patience to look over anything, contracts, mediation, notes that have been taken, and you'll be able to cast your eye over those things, give them a double check, a triple check, make sure that everything is correct and accurate and in place, so that you're very happy with the outcome of what has been discussed. So in week 3 here, the moon starts on the 14th in your 6th house, and it ends on the 20th in your 8th. And that's the right-hand side of your chart. So the 3rd week is very much about doing the work, both the inner work and the outer work. And then in the middle, it's time to take a little bit of time for yourself and to celebrate. So it's almost like, let me start week 3 by tweaking and perfecting the things about my daily routine. Then it's party time. And then after that, let's get to the sit down at the business meeting table and get things done and get things organized. So it's really a week of two halves, and make sure you don't get whiplash going from one thing to the other. It's kind of an extreme shift here. Week 4, Monday to Wednesday, the 21st to the 30th of April. The moon is in Aquarius on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. And it's in your 9th house of education, travel, and the higher realms. And it's sitting next to Pallas, which is wisdom, and Pluto, which is transformation and change, the phoenix rising from the ashes, and death and rebirth. So these 3 days are great for you to study, to learn something new, or to have some sort of brilliant idea occur to you. On the 21st of April, we have Mercury reaches its greatest western elongation. Look for the planet low in the sky, in the eastern sky just before sunrise. And Mercury at the moment is in Aries, in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. So you may find that some sort of earth-shattering idea occurs to you on the 21st that allows you to take action to immediately realize one of your hopes and dreams for your life. Now that you have the info, you can make it happen. On the 22nd and 23rd, we have the Lyrids meteor shower, and you'll be able to see that best after midnight. And the constellation Lyra is associated with music, harmony, and creativity. And with the moon sitting in your 9th house on top of the chart, you can get creative with the way you earn a living, with the way you work, whether it's creatively fulfilling or whether you're kind of accepting work and a job which is not using all of your skills and gifts and talents, and therefore not paying you enough. So if you're a Gemini who's wanted to make changes to your work, in this last week, you'll really see what your gifts are and how you can implement and apply those to make your hopes and dreams come true in career, but particularly in what you get out of a career, which usually is pay, but also a sense of fulfillment and a sense of pride in your profession. On the 24th and 25th, the moon then moves into Pisces, and that goes into your 10th house of work. So on an intuitive level, you're really going to understand whether you are in the right job or not, and whether you need to make any changes or not. On the 26th, the moon goes into Aries, and it joins Neptune, Mercury, and Chiron, all in Aries in your 11th. So by the 26th, you'll be like, right, okay, I have considered my own skills and talents. I'm comparing that with my actual work. Do the two match, or do I need to make a change? Do I need to heal my career in order to feel better about what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis? And you know, most of us spend a lot of time in our jobs. So if you're doing something that you're not satisfied with or that doesn't make you happy, then it's a good idea to contemplate that and to make sure that you're doing the right thing, so that if you're doing 40 hours a week, that you're not spending 40 hours of your life wishing your life away, and that you're actually engaged and happy and fulfilled by doing that. On the 27th, 28th, 29th, the moon goes into Taurus. And on the 27th, we have a new moon in Taurus. So the new moon is when the moon is pitch black. It pulls in a ton of energy. And again, it sits next to your transiting midheaven and Uranus in Taurus in that 12th house of spirituality. So again, on the 27th, 28th, and 29th, you're getting messages from source, from the universe, that specifically relate to your career. And you may get some ideas that you may see as really out of the norm and unconventional and way over the top, and that would require a risk. So maybe you've been working as, you know, a hairdresser, and around the end of this month in April, you get the idea that you should be a motivational speaker. You may be a little shocked by that, but really listen to the messages that you get, because I feel that for a lot of Geminis, the universe is kind of pushing you to make changes to the way you work so that you're using all of your gifts rather than just doing a job for the sake of it. And then finally, on the 30th of April, the last day of the month, the moon goes back into your sign of Gemini and it joins Jupiter in your first house. And here, everything will come together. You'll have made a decision whether things need to change or not, and you'll see a way forward. You'll have ideas around how you can make that happen for yourself. So in this last week, the last 9 days, from the 21st, the moon started in your 9th house, and it ends up in your first house. So that's the 4th quadrant and the 9th house and the first. So really, it's about learning about yourself, who you are, and transcending the existing self, seeing a different version of yourself, and then putting that into practice. So the last week of the month particularly is going to be incredibly, the pace is going to be quick, and you'll get a sense that things need to change. I'm no longer satisfied keeping things as they are. I want to use all my gifts and talents, and I don't want to underachieve for myself anymore. So that's what I get for you here in April. I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. To draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, don't worry about that too much. I can use sunrise. But there's a process called chart rectification where I can manually work out your time of birth. You send me 10 or more life events and I can work it out, which is really helpful because then the ascendant, the rising sign, is accurate, and so are the house placements. So if you don't have the time of birth, please get in touch with me for that. I also use the progress chart and the transits to see what's coming up in future. So if you're going through a period of transition where you're not sure when the right time is to sell the house or to buy a house or to move or to change job or to start a relationship or leave a relationship, and you have questions around that, please do get in touch. And also there's a tool called astrocartography, which shows me, based on your natal chart, what parts of the world are going to support you and what parts of the world are not going to support you, and where you have an easy and abundant life and experience and where things might be a bit more difficult. So if you're interested in any of that, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. That's what helps it show up in searches. Hit subscribe for more videos in future, and please share this video. That's what helps the channel grow. I do a daily tarot reading on this channel as well. If you'd like to watch that, then please become a member of my channel. I hope you have a wonderful April, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.